there, welcome back to my channel Scrap and Coffee. This is the final part for the classic Pooh album. So all the construction is completed and most of the decorating is completed. I just needed to finish up some final parts and do something on the front cover. For the front cover I've prepared some pieces. I'm going to wrap a scrap piece of chipboard with some pattern paper. I'm going to embellish it a little bit. But I'm going to put that to the side for now. I needed to finish up some decorating parts on the page and on the front cover elements. And now that I had like my scrap pieces of pattern paper, it was a little bit easier for me to have a little bit of a look on like what can I still use there. And I've prepared a little bit like what do I want to work with. So out of the 12 by 12 paper collection, I used the sheet with all the little what is it, like where you can write on, little pieces where you can make notes on. And so I've got one in the dark yellow, and I think I'm going to use this little embellishment with it. And I have some scrap pieces of the 12 by 12 pattern paper with the map on it that I used on the page. And also I've used the 6 by 8 pattern from on this part as well. So we want to see what we can do with that. I think I'm going to place this one here on the bottom flap with some pattern paper behind it. I still have some of the yellow, I forgot how this all of this is called. It's terrible, but the something with checker, well, this pattern. And yeah, we're just going to combine some pieces to fill this up a little bit more. So I was thinking that I might make a little tuck spot here on this flap with a piece of this, and I have this here, so this is from the 12 by 12, and I think it's exactly the width that I need it to be, which is 3.5. Yes, so I'm considering just sticking this on here and then this one on top, so that's quick and easy. So I need to cut it to height only. This is 5 1/4, so to 5 if you go for that 1/8 inch border. And I want it from there. So I can just glue this down, nice, quick and easy. So I try to prepare it a little bit so I can go a little bit quicker through these elements. But yeah, I always, like need to double check and not sure and try something else. But hopefully I've went through that process already off camera. So we can now just glue things down. So it doesn't become an endless video of me deciding on pattern papers. Okay, then where is that card that I've prepared? I'm just going to, just like center it a little bit. That's fine. So what I did here is I have the white cardstock that I used for the construction, and I used one of my die sets to die cut a photo mat. This is for 3x4 photo, so a 3x4 photo will fit on here with a nice border, and it has a little bit of a stitched edge. I like to use that for some extra detail. So I probably make some of those as well for like to put 3x4 photos in the album. Where did I put my bone folder? Here. So that's on, and I'm thinking this one right here. Yeah, I think that's the nicest on the bottom. So I'm not going to glue her completely because I might want to tuck something under. I'm just going to glue it a little bit on that edge. So I might just put a little bit of glue here. See how that goes. I hope that's all in camera what I'm doing. Yeah, it is. Nice. I don't want it to stick out over the edge of the white cardstock, like So there we go. So if I want to do something behind it, I can still lift it up. And if I really want to think later on, oh, it needs to be glued down a bit more, I can do that as well. But I also have these enamel dots from the birthday collection. So they are like glittery and shiny. I'm not sure how well the camera picks that up, but I have to see if I'm going to use them or not. It's like I'm not always the glittery person, so we'll see. So then another easy one is to put this one there and cut a piece of this. And I don't need to cover the full flap here, but maybe if I cut like 4 inches, that would be nice, because then I can cut like 2 pieces out of here to fit on there, like on another flap as well. So if that should be 3.5 by 4. Okay, well, I had to do some adjustments there because I didn't cut properly. But I can glue this and we have a little bit of a tuck space. Now the thing is, do I mind that it's like sticking out there just that little bit? Maybe I am actually. But I don't want to do it like this. But can I use this on the inside? Like a photo there. And then maybe this one here. But I was also thinking of making one in that direction. So for this I would need 5. See what we have left. Not enough, I guess, but 5. Because I want to make a tuck spot in the other direction. This could work like just. Not sure if I like that. I don't want to be piecing things. Other thing that I can do is make the yellow a bit shorter, of course. And then it's fixed. Let's do that. Don't overthink it. In the meanwhile, I'm not sure what to do with all my scrap pieces here, but that's all right. I'm not really happy with how this is cut, but it's okay. And I'm really happy that I'm actually getting to a point where I'm finishing this album. Normally an album this size would be like a week, maybe a little bit over a week, because something is not going as planned. But like, yeah, a week, maybe a week and 2 days, like 8-9 days, between 8 and 10 days, let's say 8 and 10 days. But right now, today marks like a full 3 weeks that I'm working on this now, because I'm just not able to focus fully on this. 1 3/4 is what I'm going to try to cut. See, that's a bit better. Then he's just outside of the pocket, and I think that looks a bit more pleasing to the eye. So I want this to become a little bit of a tuck spot for a little something. So I'm only going to glue 3 sides. For a tuck spot, I always use wet glue, because once that glue is dry, you don't have to worry about things getting stuck to it. When you use like a double-sided tape, that will always stay sticky. And if I put something in the pocket and it touches the double-sided tape, it will stick on it, and you're not going to be happy, because you might rip it. Yeah, that's just not what we want. Okay. So here I'm going to do a full-size photo. I'm going to use a stamp to stamp it, but I realize right now that my ink is not close by, so I will do that later on. That's fine. I will come back for the inking. Then, so I will find some things to put in there, maybe small photo, like the collection always has these fun little tags, or yeah, just something to put in there. Then here I can go for this, and I'm going to make a tuck spot with the yellow. I have a full sheet of that I can use, and I'm going to make sure that I use it. Oh, it got wet. I don't know what from what, but just avoid using that piece for now. But I'm going to combine it here as well with this. So I'm just going to cut. I can also use this one, by the way, for here. And then this one comes back. Makes my life maybe a little easier in use of scraps. So let's change that, but I think this is a bit too wide. What would be nice? Am I in frame with that? I'm not sure. Let's pull it a bit this way. So I can cut this smaller, right? But I just don't feel like it, and it's fine if we just leave it like this. I might want to have like 1 1/4. What is this? A little over, so I'm going to cut that down. So I will just glue this like that, and then another full-size photo here. And then we're almost done with this piece, and it can go, actually can be attached to the album. That's nice that I don't have all the loose pieces anymore. But yeah, like I said, I'm having a hard time focusing on the project. There's a lot happening, and sometimes it's not that I don't have time to turn on the camera, but I'm just not in the right mindset for it. I feel a bit stuck in my own thoughts and a bit stressed, if that makes sense. So, and then turning on a camera is not like the most successful idea. Which leads me to doing a lot of my art journaling. I'm started to make cards lately. I'm just finding, or actually discovering is a better word, all these new products and brands that I didn't really know before I came to the Netherlands, which is fun, but it also distracts me a lot from doing things that I maybe should be doing. But yeah, so but like if I feel stressed or not in the right mindset to actually turn on the camera and work on this project on camera, it really helps me to do other creative things where I can just do my own thing and relax and calm my brain down, basically. Okay, now I can do a couple of things. I can just cover this. But again, I would like to have a little bit of a tuck there. So, and I think I'm going to use this, the what is it, right hand side of the paper, because I have the Pooh Bear here and here, and I don't want that to come back too close together. And I think I'm going to go again for 1 1/4, and then I need to measure this flap. So I will cut the yellow first, I guess. This is 4 3/4. 4 7/8. So if you want to have your 1/8 inch border, you cut it to 4 5/8. I went for like 1 3/8 in width by the same height as the yellow, and we need to angle that. What I might do, no, because I need to glue it. I'll mark it later. So I'm going to flip this one around. Find my pencil. Here it is. Line this up. So again, I said it before in another video. In the beginning, I said I was going to go for a 1/8 inch border, and I immediately said like I might regret it because I don't really like. I often feel that it's too much of a border. And that's what happened. I didn't like it, so I started to cheat a little bit. So when I say I'm for your 1/8 inch border, you need to cut it to 3 1/2, for example, I will cut it slightly bigger than that for myself. But if that's like, really confusing if I'm going to give you all those weird measurements. So I'm just gonna stick with giving you the measurements for the 1/8 inch border. And again, I've said it before as well, I do not provide the measurements for pattern paper in cutting guides, because everybody does the whole decorating in their own way. Some people like a bigger border, some people like a small border. Some people construct a whole album out of pattern paper. You know, all of those different ways and things of doing it. And then again, on top of that, that is a lot of work to give all those measurements. And so the combination of feeling that like everybody does it differently, I think it's almost like a waste of my time, but also I would really not enjoy having to do that. So okay, lining up that white piece, maybe it would have been easier to line it up before I glued it down, to get that angle exactly, but I didn't think, so we'll just work around and make the best of it. But that luckily didn't go too bad. And then again, glue on 3 sides. And keep your direction in mind if you have a directional paper, that you put your glue on the right side. So we can put some fun stuff in there as well. And of course you can just cover it completely and put a photo or a little journal spot on there. Journal spot, that's the word that I was looking for earlier. But this is done. I will have a look at, maybe I have like a die cut package. Like, this is too big of course, but like, do I want to have some die cuts? But I'll probably do that off camera, because that's always something that takes me a bit longer to think about. That's this. I have another something here. I'm not sure if this will fit. It should fit, by the way, but yeah. So I can put something in the pocket, and we can even go from the top here, and then, which probably is a little bit more difficult to make that slide in, but all the way to the bottom. I need something longer here, but that will help to keep it closed for now. And then we can attach this into the actual cover. Now for doing that, I really need to look at the direction. So this is the front cover, that's where it will go. So I'm going to attach it right there. For that, my pokey tool and wet glue. I've already prepared it with the double-sided tape. So I will be like peeling that off. I've already burnished it when I put it on, so that's not something that I really have to worry about right now. I'm going to add some wet glue also on top of the double-sided tape. That's more for like that I can lift it up if I'm not happy with my placement. It doesn't have to be a lot. It's more that this tape is really strong, and if it sticks down and I need to pull it up, I might rip all my hard work, and that would make me cry, I think. So flip it over, making sure that our orientation is correct. I'm just pushing the hinge down a little bit with my hand to make that flat so I have space. Sometimes it's better to stand up for this to make sure that you are like nicely spaced on all 4 sides. I want to have a little bit of that green border showing on all 4 sides, so I can tell now I don't have as much of that green border showing on the inside. I actually don't mind, so I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna lift it up. And what I will do is I will open it, go to the back as much as possible of this piece, and then give it all a good burnish. And then this one is in place. So still some finishing touching to do on this, but we're really getting there. a good feeling. Okay, let's do the same thing for the page. Let's finish it and put it in the album. For the page, I did the same thing. I've decorated all of this that you can see now on camera, and I've prepared some things. It's not much because we have way less to cover on this, but I've prepared a little bit what I want to work with. So it's mainly these photo flaps here for this page, and I will add photo mats later on. Like I said, I have like one of those photo mats here as well prepared. I still need to make a lot more, but if I want to use a 3x4 photo, because that's the biggest size that I have of this, I can just like glue one down, or maybe I want to do it in this way with a little embellishment. If I want to have a bigger one, I will probably just cut it to size in my paper trimmer, but to give a white photo mat for an actual photo. But I will work on that later. Out of the 12x12 paper collection, I found this card, which I don't know, it just spoke to me. It said, the things that make me different are the things that make me. And it's 4x4. It's not fitting on this flap, but I can easily cut it to 3.5 by cutting a 1/4 inch off on both sides. And I saw this journal card here with the red edge that I like, that I'm going to stick on this photo mat. And I decided on this pattern paper, the red. I've used it on the front of the page, but only like 2 1/2-inch strips. So not only did I thought like, oh, maybe it's good to have it come back a little bit, I also had the issue that I've used this in here, which was with the orange, but I don't have any other orange. And I've used these sheets fully, like I had like 1/4 inch strips left, but that wasn't gonna work. So I was like, okay, what color will work with it? And I think the red will really work with it as well. So that is a win-win. So I'm going to start with cutting this to 3.5 in width by cutting off a 1/4 inch on either side of the card. So this is what that will look like. Now I can cut it like smaller in height as well and make it another square. I don't really think that's necessary. So I'm just gonna leave it like this, and I will even it out, like center it. I'll probably need about a little bit bigger than 1/2 inch strips. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch strip and see what that will give me. And I hope this inspires you, like even if your card is a 4x4 and you don't have space for a 4x4, you can still like sometimes work around that, right? So it's slightly bigger than 1/2 inch. And if I put that there, that's not gonna fit, eh? So I might, you know what, I'm going to leave this strip and I'm just going to trim a hair off the top of the card. That's the easiest now for me, and nobody's gonna notice. But probably if you go for 1/2 inch, you'll be fine. So I can put that on top. And then I'm going to cut. Maybe I'll just glue the red pieces down and then measure, and then I know what to cut off. I don't have to erase that. I'm going to cover it, so I'm not worrying about it. Oh, let's even that out a little bit better. And then what I'm going to do is to help me is just put this card here. So I'm lining up the sides a bit better, because you need to eyeball it otherwise. It can be a bit tricky. So since I'm on top of it, I'm going to take it away. Alrighty, let's measure. So I'm going to start with just under 3 7/8 in my case. Let's see what we get. So just over 3 3/4. Okay, I went just over 3 3/4. That gives me a nice bit of white spacing in between. I'm happy with this. And I'm going to stick it down. And then we have that one covered. Okay, now I need to make a decision because I can do a full photo here. Like 3.5 by 5, and put the journal card on the inside. Just cover this and stick that on top and do a full-size photo here. I can also cover it with strips, like 1/2 inch strips, make a frame just like we did on the inside cover, and then put a photo mat on top for a smaller photo, which gives us a little bit more color on the flaps. And I can go back and do that on the front inside piece as well with the yellow because I have it, and then use bigger photos on the flaps. How much is this? I can make 8 strips, 1/2 inch strips out of this. 8. But that's not enough. Okay, no, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it because I don't have enough for it. So on this inside, on the other side, I'm going to cut a piece 3.5 by 5. Okay. Yep, I like that. That's all right with me. So let's glue it down. So this is just easy covering now, not only because I already thought about it, but it's also like I'm keeping it very basic, right? I'm just going to layer this. Sometimes I don't really like to use wet glue on if I make layers like this, but you know what? Like, use wet glue on every single layer because it is kind of like, it has an impact on your paper, wet glue, because you like it's moist. And sometimes it's better to like maybe then put double-sided tape in the layer in between, but it's fine. I think it's fine. I'm not gonna be worried about it today. And again, I'll just center it as best as I can. There we go. Easy and quick. We'll have a look if I can find a little bit of an embellishment to go with it. There's a little thingy on here as well already, right? But maybe like some text or, I don't know, something, a quote. And then full-size photos on the parts that haven't been covered yet. So I need to remove the leather there as best as I can get it. And then we can attach this in the album. Again, I have a little scrap thingy here that I'm just going to put in here to keep that flap a little bit in place. And this is going to go on the hinge. Now, this is our back cover piece. We can put that in as well. But let's do the page first. So make sure you have it in the right orientation. Then we need to find the pocket page, which is like if we open up the page, it's on the left hand side. We have our tunnel. I'm going to put my hand in there and I'm going to give it a bit of a dry fit before I actually remove any tape backing. I just want to make sure that it fits on there to my liking, and it does, so that's fine. And then I like to remove the tape backing on this side of the hinge. I'm not adding any wet glue. If you want to, you absolutely can, to make sure that you don't stick before you want it. Now, there's a lot of flaps and thingies hanging around here, so yeah, make sure everything is staying in place a little bit as best as you can. I'm pushing down on this hinge so it doesn't stick before I want it, and do my best to slide it over until the start of the taper. That's where you want to be, right? And try to get that as straight as you can. And then we can push down on it. Now I'm going to like open up the pouch pocket there and give it a good burnish here on the inside of the page. And now I need, I'm not sure if that pokey tool that I have is working. So I'm looking for this one. This is a little bit more of a hook type of sharp tool. I'm going to go all the way to the back of the page. I'm going to lift it up carefully. I can see my tape backing, and I'm going to use that hook to get under there and like peel it out. And then I will carefully pull on that tape backing. Well, if you rip it, sometimes it happens. You just go in again with your pokey tool. And again, I'm going to give that a really good burnish. And then our page is in place as well. So I need to fill this up, right? And then we can also attach our back cover elements. Okay, so let's put this in place as well while we're at it. And then everything is in our album. And then I will have a little look at the front cover to get that started a little bit. So again, some wet glue there to make sure that I have some wiggle time and good coverage. And again, I'm just going to try to get that green border all around. Maybe now that I have the wet glue, I can pull it a little lower. And that's in place. So for burnishing here, I'm just going to open it up. And I think I have a nice idea to use this element on like a card as well. I'm going to try it somewhere. See if I can make it work. Okay, so we can close this up. And then the elements on the inside are like prepared to fill up. And I will have a little look on this front cover. Let's get rid of that. I'm not like 100% set on how this is going to look, but I will get through this, and then yeah, I might finish it up off camera. But well, after I've cut my pieces of gray board for the cover, I had some scrap pieces, and out of those scrap pieces I've got a piece which I'm pretty sure is 3 by 4 inches, but let me double check. Yes, 3 by 4 inches, and then this is the pattern that I used on the spine, and I've got that to 4 by 5 inches, which will give me like a 1/2 inch all around when I stick it on here to wrap it. So that's basically what I'm going to do. Just at first I thought like I'm going to make a frame, so like cut a piece of the inside as well, but that's what I do a lot, and I was like, let's do it a little bit different. Not only is it a bit easier, but it's also a difference. And I think the red pattern will look nice on the cover as well. So it's not a really big piece. I'm just going to eyeball that I have about 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. If you feel like you need a bit more, you can cut your piece of pattern paper a bit bigger, of course. I'm just going to cut off the corners a little bit, where I have a little bit of space here between the edge of the pattern paper and the chipboard, just like we did with the cover. You don't want to go all the way up to that I'm saying chipboard, but it's gray board, but you know what I mean. Just the best that I can. And I know that this pattern paper can do this pretty well, so I feel comfortable in folding it over. I am going to put some double-sided tape along the perimeter, and then I will just do the rest with wet glue. So I'm going to do the long sides first. Yeah, it's basically the same thing as the cover, right? I'm going to peel that one off. This one I will pull back a little bit, if it's cooperating. And on the pattern paper right now, I'm going to do a little bit of wet glue along that edge and just fill this in a little bit here. I don't know where my other bone folder is actually. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, okay. We'll just do it with this one. I don't know where the other one is. Or maybe it's in there. I can have a look after this one. Okay, so just folding it over, burnishing it. Because this is a small piece, that other bone folder just works a bit easier on those smaller flaps and pieces. Again, let's fill that in. Put glue everywhere except on your paper. And then just fold it over. So I put a little bit of wet glue against that edge. And that will help with like sticking it down. Oh, actually it's not easier at all. This one is easier. The glue will help with like having a nice stick on the side of the piece as well. Okay, now we have those done. And we can fold this little overhang in and make that flat. And then again, some wet glue. And I can be a little less worried about how it looks on this side, because I'm not going to see it, right? With an actual cover, you're going to see both sides of your piece. With this one, I'm not. I'm just not happy with the corner here, but I will cut off a little bit later on. See, always switching bone folders. It's just what I do. Okay, close my glue. Let's see, what corner was it? Here. See, I didn't fold that in properly, so I'm going to get a small scissors. There we go. Just cut it off and then I won't see it from the front. Okay, let's get this out of the way. So I had this in my die cut set. It said smile, it's your birthday. And I had a sticker. So this is from the 12 by 12, so this is just the classic Pooh, not the birthday version, but I still had this sticker here where Pooh is holding a balloon and a Piglet, which I thought would be nice to put on here. Probably I'm gonna use some dimension, some foam adhesive to stick that on. And the question is, I have some hearts on here, I have some flowers on here, so I really want to see if we can like add something to it. I had a little speech balloon, or what is it called? I call it a speech balloon, I'm not sure. But the unfortunate thing is, not only is it red and falls away a little bit on this red, but I could back it with a little bit of white if I want to. But this is going in the wrong direction for me, because I thought it was fun to have him say it like, whose birthday is it? But it's, I don't know, or I need to put it on this side. Something to think about. Other things that I liked here are some tabs that I can use, so there is enough to make something fun on this little 3x4 card. So I'm assuming you're using a different paper collection, so I would just say like find something that works for you, and then I like to work on it like off the cover, and then once I'm done I'm going to like cover this with double-sided tape, wet glue, your adhesive of choice, and I will just glue this on here, like on top. And then, alrighty, off camera, I've been working on this little thing for the front cover. I'm sorry I did it off camera, but I've mainly used a couple of die cuts and the sticker sheet, and then I've used 3 of the enamel dots in red. Maybe it's a bit much, but I think I kind of like it, where it says like, whose birthday is it? Well, today is your special day. Smile, it's your birthday. So I feel like it's a little bit of storytelling like on the front cover this way. I've used dimension on all of these pieces. I just use foam tape. Normally I would prefer to like back it with cardstock and put chipboard because it's for the cover, so it's a bit more, how do you say that? Like it's not as sturdy as I would normally make it for a cover. So that's something that I need to keep in mind. It's a bit more flimsy. I think that's the word that I was looking for. So then on the back, I've put double-sided tape so I can adhere it. And also like the pieces that are sticking out, the balloon and here the E of the word smile, I've put a double layer of foam tape to support that when I glue it on as well. Here it's a bit, yeah, not enough sticking out to actually do that. So yeah, this is going to be glued onto the front cover, and then all that is left to do for me is yeah, put in photo mats, etc. I'm going to do that off camera because otherwise it's going to be too long and too much. And like photo mats, you can go your own way, right? You can make, if you still have pattern paper left, you can make like larger photo mats, because you can put photo mat in the pouch pocket of the page. You can fill up your the pouch pocket, yes, but also the tunnel pocket where we adhered the page into the album. That's actually what I was trying to say. So you can make photo mats for that as well and cover that with pattern paper if you want to. Yeah, you can go all crazy and fill it up the way you want it, of course. I'm going to put in like blank photo mats. I'm going to try to stay as much as I can to stick with standard size photos. I want to give this album away as a gift, and but if they need help later on with placing photos in it, I can definitely help them with that as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick to standard size photos as much as I can. So the 3.5 by 5, that is like if you have 2 photos, like you have like the apps where you can make where you can place like several photos on one actual photo, right? Does that make sense? So and then if you print it by 7 by 5, and you cut it in half, you have your 3.5 by 5 photos. So that's still very doable. And then of course 3 by 4s, I can do full size photos. I can do 7 by 5 photos. I'm being a little bit careful with pushing on it. I'm trying to push in places where I don't really have the dimension because I don't want to break anything. But I think this should be fine. So this is on here. Kind of like how that turned out. Yeah, like I said, I'm not doing anything on the cover, but like I could if I really wanted to, and I feel like it's a bit blank. I can add something here, but I don't really feel like it's necessary. Although when I see this like over here, I go like, oh, that's kind of nice, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to save it for the inside. So here we have it, the cover. So the back is plain, and then we have the front side element. The page is in place. I can add photos here and there, and We can put things that we have left over that can be used. Even if I have embellishments left, I can put them in here. So the person that is going to use the album with photos can put some embellishments in there themselves, or some journal cards that I have left over. Yeah, so I'm going to continue to fill this up. Yeah, I feel like all of the tutorials for this project were a bit messy. I was a bit all over the place. I'll get there at some point, I hope. But yeah, I hope you were still enjoying the tutorials. I'm just happy to be back and to be creating projects again. And I hope it won't be too long till the next one. I also have some ideas for other type of videos on my channel. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see time-wise, because the ideas are there. It's just finding the time. But yeah, this one is done. I hope you enjoy it. I will say one more time, don't forget to download the free cutting guide. It's on my Ko-fi web shop. Link is down below in the description box. So yeah, feel free to grab one for yourself. And make the project, of course. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next project really, really soon. And enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.